If you want to bring some 2021 and newer styling to your 2018 to 2020 F-150's front end, these Pro Series 14th Gen G2 style projector headlights with the alpha black housing and the clear lens will be a great place to start. Now, I would like to mention that right off the bat that these will only be compatible with F-150s that have the factory halogen headlights. Nonetheless, these headlights will bring a lot of styling to the table with the dual projector lenses, corner daytime running lights, and the all-black look, making it great for the F-150 owner looking for a modernized refresh to the front end. Now, it's not all about the styling here. These will also improve your lighting performance on the front end if that's something that you're currently struggling with. Taking a closer look at the headlight, again, you can see on the inside you'll get two projectors with the H7 halogens on the inside, putting off more light than the factory and giving off a more uniform beam pattern for clearer visibility. Now on the inside here, you'll also see a small amber reflector for a subtle pop of color, but what really steals the show is the partially bordered daytime running light. Now that strip of LEDs will add that 14th gen feel, being bright white LEDs with an extension in the center and a sequential amber LED for whenever you actuate your turn signal. Now the housing on these lights will be that alpha black housing, which will add a very sleek and sporty look to the front as well. Now they will feature a polycarbonate anti-fog clear lens that will protect the LEDs inside and offer optimal performance even in extreme weather conditions. Now you can also rest assured that these will also be DOT and SAE compliant. Talking about price tag here, these will be pretty average at roughly $850. Now comparing these to other choices, I think that you're getting a good compromise of some of the premium features while keeping it relatively simple in design. Now you'll see some premium options offering a fully LED setup or a quad projector setup that will cost you a bit more than this choice with the dual halogen projectors. Now on the other hand, some less expensive choices may not offer as many features, including the light bar daytime running light with the sequential feature. Now I think if you're looking for a premium looking headlight to up the styling of your F-150, but don't want to completely break the bank in the meantime, then these are going to be a great set. Install will be a lighter 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about an hour to get the job done with some pretty basic hand tools. At this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of what the install looks like step by step. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
The tools you'll need for this project is a fuse tap, a 7mm socket, an 8mm socket, a 10mm socket, a 13mm socket, a short extension, all in 1/4 inch drive, a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a trim removal tool, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a set of wire strippers and crimpers. Hi everyone, today we're going to be installing this new set of headlights on our 2018 F-150. But before we do that, let's get started on the uninstall of the stock headlights first. Our first step is going to be to remove this lower filler panel here, and it has 4 screws holding it in. So we're going to use our 7mm socket to remove the 2 screws on one side and 2 screws on the other side. The screws that we need to remove are on the ends of the filler panel, just inside the fender well. Now you can repeat that process for the other side, and then we can pull this out. Now we'll start at one end and just pull it away from the vehicle. Now you may have to use a little bit of force, but it should come right out. Now we can remove the 13 push pins that hold the radiator cover down using our trim removal tool. Now we can lift our radiator cover off. Now we can disconnect our electrical connectors here and remove the 4 10mm bolts on top. Now we can remove the last 2 13mm bolts at the bottom of the grill using our 13mm socket and a short extension. And repeat for the other side. Now we can just pull the grill out and up, and that'll uninstall it completely. So now we can remove the 4 retaining bolts for our headlight. There are 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. 3 of them are 10mm, 1 of them is 8mm. So let's take out the 10mm first using our 10mm socket. Now we can get the 2 lower ones. Now we'll use our 8mm socket for the last bolt. Now we can remove the bolt here using our 10mm socket, and then we'll use our pry tool to separate the mounting bracket here from the headlight. Now we should be able to just pull our headlight out. Now we can go ahead and disconnect our electrical connections. Now we can repeat the same uninstall process for the other light on the other side. Now that we're ready to install our headlights, we can go ahead and install this optional module first. And it's going to have 2 pigtails, a long side and a short side. So make sure that the long side runs towards the driver's side and the short side runs towards the passenger side where the battery is located. Now remember, when you run these wires, not to run them near any heat source, or make sure that they're not crimped as well. So for our purposes, we're going to run our wires underneath the core support right here, underneath the air intake, and then in behind where all the rest of the electrical connectors go for the headlights. So now that we've got our wires routed, And we know that we've got enough length to reach the fuse box. We're just going to let these sit right now, and we'll go ahead and install our headlights first, and then we'll come back and connect the wires. Now we can go ahead and set our headlight up there and make our electrical connections, and then secure it to the vehicle. Now we can go ahead and secure the light using our original bolts and repeat on the other side. Now we can go ahead and tighten down our bolts using our 10mm socket. And secure this one with our 10mm socket as well. And this one, we'll use our 8mm socket to tighten that down. And one more 10mm bolt with our 10mm socket. And repeat those steps for the other side. Okay, now we can go ahead and connect the wires for our power module on the headlights. First thing we're going to do is access the fuse panel. For our install today, we're going to use fuse number 35, which is this 20 amp fuse right here. So let's go ahead and remove that first. Now we'll reinstall that fuse into our fuse tap, and then we can insert our fuse tap back where the original fuse came from. Now we can connect our gray wire to our spade bit. Route the wire so that it's not pinched, and then we can go ahead and connect our red wire to the positive terminal on the battery and our black wire to the negative terminal. Now we're going to use our 10mm socket to loosen up this nut on the battery. Insert our connector underneath. And tighten it back down. Now we can do the same thing on the negative side using our 10mm socket. And now everything is connected, so let's go ahead and place our cover back on. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our grille. Reinstall the 4 bolts at the top. And the 2 at the bottom, tighten them all down using our 10mm socket. Now we can install the bottom bolt using our 13mm socket and tighten it down. And repeat for the other side. Let's go ahead and install our lower filler panel and secure it with our 2 7mm screws. Now tighten them down using our 7mm socket. And repeat for the other side. Now we can reconnect our electrical connectors. Now we can reinstall our radiator cover using the push pins that we removed earlier. And that wraps up our review and install of our Pro Series 14th Gen G2 style projector headlights with the alpha black housing and clear lens for our 18 to 20 F-150 with factory halogen lights. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things F-150, keep it right here on AmericanTrucks.com.